Who am I? Who am I is the question I always get asked. Now to some of y'all, I may be a successful TikTok shop affiliate, the guy that bought his dream car, his dream home at only 22. But to some of y'all, is that one guy that started from $500 left in his checking accounts, worried if he was about to be homeless, working at a full-time job in construction, day in, day out, endlessly, and having this life where it was just repeating over and over, but always knew that they wanted bigger things in life. But to me, I'm just normal. Growing up, I didn't really have much. When I was in the first grade, my dad had left us, which led to my mom not only having to take care of me, but my brother and my sister. We soon lost our home that we grew up in due to financial issues, so we had to move back to my grandma's. I remember that we didn't even have money for anything. We didn't have money for school supplies, we didn't have money for school clothes. We had to reuse the same shirts, the same washed up jeans, and we had to sleep on the floor because we didn't even have money for mattresses. I always knew that I wanted to break this system. I knew that this life wasn't the life that I wanted, not only for myself, but for my family. At the age of 11, which is pretty freaking young, by the way, I know. I knew that if I wanted to change, the change had to come from me. I'm the oldest out of 3. I knew that I had to start working to help my mom financially. I know it wasn't my responsibility whatsoever, but I felt like I needed to, because the things that I wanted wasn't just going to be handed to me. I remember I told my mom that I was going to go out and work, and that's what I did. She didn't want to accept it. She didn't want to let me go out, but I still did it. I went out to Iowa and I started working in this thing we call Espiga. That was probably one of the best and one of the worst jobs I could have ever had. The reason why I say worst is because, of course, the labor, the hard works, the heavy days, waking up at 3 in the morning, working all the way to 5, 6 in the afternoon, and I was just a kid. But it taught me one thing: discipline. And it taught me that nobody was gonna be out there to give me an upper hand. No one's gonna be out there to give everything to me. That if I wanted something, that I had to go and work hard for it. If I wanted to change, I had to be the change. As soon as I finished up with that job, I was probably middle school going into high school. I started working in construction. I was doing painting and remodeling. I started doing concrete, you name it. I was doing all of this because I knew that I still wanted to support my family. I was still in school. Man, I was in high school. I was playing basketball, bro. Which, in case you didn't know, bro, I'm freaking good at basketball. Hell yeah, bro. 4 years of varsity, baby. As a freaking freshman, we played as a freaking starter. That's all I gotta say, man. If you don't believe me, this is me freaking holding up a jersey with another varsity player, but hey, man. Anyway, that's a whole different story, bro. As soon as I graduated high school, there was no time for me that for summer or any breaks. I never even knew about that. My whole life I was revolved around work, so I went straight into working as a pipeline. At first I was hyped, man. Man, it was just one of those jobs that everybody said, hey, pipeline money is big dog money. And I remember that in the back of my mind, I was like, I wanted a 2014 Chevy with some big old wheels, you know, just give that pipeline look, which honestly, I mean, I already have it. You guys can take a look for it. After that, I knew that I was destined for more. That life wasn't the life I wanted, and it wasn't the one that I thought I needed. The money was good, don't get me wrong, but if I wanted to take care of my family, if I wanted to be not financially only, but timely free and location free, it wasn't just gonna be another job. So I started studying a lot of businesses. First one I came across was real estate, the most obvious one. Started studying it, paid some mentorship, paid for some books, started watching some videos, and everything was pretty amazing, man. It sparked something inside of me, but then I hit a freaking wall. As I was working as a pipeline, as I was putting hours and hours after every shift into this business of real estate, I realized that I couldn't do much because I needed investments, money-wise. So I hit a freaking wall. I didn't know what to do, man, but I knew that I couldn't quit. There was a day that I came across this one YouTube video. He was talking about dropshipping. After watching that video, it excited me, because I finally found a business that I was able to put my money into. I started dropshipping, and as soon as I made my first few sales, and I still remember the product I did, was a pet pool. I threw some water or whatever. I invested into mentorship. That same guy from the YouTube video. I paid the guy over $15,000. Within my entire journey, I started becoming successful. Then I met someone that ended up becoming my business partner. But me and this guy, as soon as we dialed in, we scaled the heck out of this business. It was this brand that we called Linda Brush. I remember the first time we made 16K in a single month, and we started replicating thousands of dollars every single day. That the only obvious thing was to expand to Amazon, which we did. I had a little bit of success, take a look. But then we hit a freaking wall. Again, within our orders being shipped out, Amazon had a certain time that we had to meet. I think it was like 4 to 5 days for the product to be shipped out. Our orders were coming from overseas, considering that we're in drop shipping. For whatever reason, the cargo ship that our orders were in was getting seized. Our orders were all opened up by the government. We lost all our money. We had to refund all of our customers. They still had to keep the products because we had already paid for them in advance, and that brought us back to zero. And keep in mind, this was all throughout the time that I was still working as a pipeliner. I was busting my ass every damn day. But it's because I was determined to make a change. I knew that it wasn't just because of the money, but rather than just to prove, not to everyone, but to myself, that I could do the things that I set myself to do so. And once again, if I really wanted to break my family's chains, it wasn't gonna be the traditional way of working in a secure job for the rest of your freaking life, or going to college and graduating and still doing the same thing for the rest of your life. That ain't the way to make it out in design. It isn't. And that's something I realized after starting my online business. I still couldn't fathom the fact that I make $16,000, bro, in a month. You know how crazy that is? As a pipeliner, as a labor worker, you probably take maybe half a year to hit that, or maybe a little less than a year. Maybe I'm exaggerating it, but it's still a long time, bro. And I'm telling you straight up right now, although my business failed, I didn't quit. I kept doing more and more research that aligned with at least dropshipping. I finally came across digital dropshipping. I saw how easy it was because all I had to do was just sell ebooks online. That's it. I started it all in, and once again, yes, I invested into another mentor, to a guy that already had the skill sets, the guy that was already in the position where I wanted to be. I remember when I started posting a lot of content. It was so stupid, man. It was about dark psychology. Dark psychology 101. All this stupid crap, right? I mean, I call it stupid, but hey, some of them actually worked though. Some of them did. Anyways, I started growing this account, and the thing that I loved about it is that it didn't require for me to actually show my face or even talk in my videos. It was just a bunch of random images that I just typed some text on it and boom, post. My account started blowing up. I started getting followers and likes and comments like crazy, like never before. I've never seen that, right? But nothing was selling for me. I remember I spoke to this one guy inside the mentorship. His name is Patrick. Patrick plays a very important part of my life and my entire journey. Patrick was another guy that was doing digital drop shipping. The guy was having his success as well. He hit the same wall. I remember we were both talking about how the heck was this not selling, considering all the success we have in our account? Then we had to ask ourselves, truthfully, when was the last time I decided to buy a book all because I saw a video, an ebook, an online book, and actually read it? Never. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm bashing on the business, but it was because I was actually being realistic with myself. And it was not only just my opinion, but Patrick's opinion. It sucked, bro. It sucked because I was hitting wall after wall and failure after failure, but I couldn't quit, man. I couldn't quit, especially around the time, man. I was still in the pipeline industry. It was horrible, bro. I hated my life. I know that hate is a very strong word, but it's just me being transparent. This is working day in, day out, bro. I feel numb. I feel like a freaking robot. Just waking up every freaking day, man. It's just, that ain't the life for no one. Being away from family, just wondering if you're gonna get a day off, or if holidays are gonna be given to you or not. If maybe you have at least one day of the week to come and visit your family. But even then, if you're living or working 10 plus hours away from home, what cause is it? Because by the time you get home, you have to be driving back. I hated it, bro. Especially growing up, that's someone that was really, that's really close to his family. Couldn't bear it, man. I knew that I just couldn't take it no more. There was a time that I was working in Texas, because I'm originally from Texas. I was in San Antonio, and it was the worst summers ever. It was hitting around 110 to highs of 120 degrees Fahrenheit. There was a day that I almost had a heat stroke. Nobody cared. You know what they told me? Suck it up. Go sit down in the truck, just get some fresh air. That's it. They expected me to be there the next day. I bled all over the pipes. And that moment, I knew that nobody gave a damn about me. That if I were to quit that job the very next day, somebody was gonna be there to become my replacement. So I quit. You can call me a quitter. You can call me someone that couldn't handle this tough work. But the way I see it is that there was no respect in me. Nobody respected me. Nobody cared about me. And this life that I was living, thinking that I was earning big bucks, wasn't getting me any closer to my dream life. The life where I'm taking care of my mom, where she doesn't have to struggle financially, where my brother and my sister don't have to worry about crap anymore, where we're finally living the life that we're supposed to live and not survive. I didn't care, man. I was surviving off the money that I stacked up throughout the entire time. Because you gotta keep in mind that I never spent money. Every time that everybody was on Fridays, Saturdays, just having fun and freaking popping bottles and having these nice steaks on freaking fancy areas, I stayed at home. I saved all that money because I knew that I was gonna eventually quit, bro. I knew how tough it was, and I know how it is, man. You're stuck, and it doesn't even have to be as a pipeliner, bro. That you're in construction, that you are in the office, that you're basically slaving yourself away for a job. I understand how it feels, bro. That's exactly why I always had a plan. Just to be completely transparent, it was $15,000 that I survived off for a couple of months. I remember the day I quit, I told my mom. I didn't get no response, but rather that she said, as long as you're okay, mijo, that's all that matters. That stuck with me, and it still stuck with me up to this day. My mom didn't care about the money, bro. My mom cared more about who I became and if I was okay. And that's when I knew I couldn't quit. You remember that business partner I told you that I did dropshipping at Skilled long ago? We got in touch again. I pitched them the idea of starting my own brand because it was around the time I had seen TikTok Shop open up for the first time. The guy didn't want to go through with the idea, but I said, screw it. All the odds were going against me, bro. And I just couldn't accept it. So I knew I had to do something about it, or if not, well, I was gonna get sucked up into this life all over again, and I'm gonna become homeless because it got to the point where I only had $500 left in my checkings account. But that didn't stop me. I started the freaking brand. With those $500 that I had left, I bought some beads, I bought some strings, glues, because I decided to start a Christian bracelet brand. I called it Faithful Bracelet. I went all in, and at the same time, I kept my faith with God. While I was making my way out and I was trying to make more income, I also dedicate this all to the Lord. The business started going amazing. I met this beautiful lady along the way that she also helped me with to do. She believed in my vision. We worked day in, day out, and it was starting going amazing. 10K months, 15K months, 1K days again, and it was going beautiful. Now this isn't the kind of story where it all crashed, because it didn't. This is where I finally started to grow. While I was making money, I knew that I still needed to grow more and get to the next level to where I can take care of my family like I've always wanted to. And I quickly realized that, man, why am I doing the heavy work of shipping out these orders when I'm, as a brand owner, I'm paying these people to make me content and they're just taking their money after that? That's what led me to doing TikTok Shop in 2024. That's one of the best things I've ever done, man. Number one, not quit. And number two, working smarter. I started TikTok Shop affiliate and it was going all right. A couple $100 here and there. I was still running my brand. I was getting some money in and out. And I remember Patrick saw me and he reached out to me. He asked about the business that I was working in. Now keep in mind that he was still trying to push the digital dropshipping. I had initially sold him my account that I had pretty good success on. It had thousands of followers that he considered to even push it out to 1 million plus followers, which is crazy, honestly. And I knew that in order to get into the TikTok program, back then there wasn't really a requirement for followers. Now there is. You need 5,000 followers or more. But I remember that he still had that account, and he was pretty hesitant at the beginning to even get this whole thing started. Then it happened. We started working together. I started teaching him how to do TikTok Shop because I was already making my first couple $100, my couple thousands of dollars. So I knew somewhat of what I was already doing, man. And everything was going pretty decent. And it was this random day. I remember because I told him, hey man, we gotta post a certain amount of videos. And I had seen that he was backed up in videos, and I just decided to help him out. Just made one random video with a 7-day gut cleanse or 15-day gut cleanse. I forgot the name of the bottle. That video alone hit over 6 million views. A video that I filmed in less than 30 seconds. And that brought us over $20,000 in profit in a single month. Everything was going amazing, bro. I was happy as heck. Afterward, the months were pretty slow, if I'm honest, but we didn't quit. because now I had somebody that I was building with. We were building this huge empire. But there was a moment where we were at the very edge of quitting TikTok Shop because everything was going pretty harsh. The night that we decided to quit, the very next day, we had over 2 to 3 viral videos pop off. We made $32,000 in profit in a week. Then led us doing $80,000 of profit in a single month. And ever since then, $10,000 to $50,000 in profit all the way to now. If it wasn't for that decision that I did that one night of finally quitting my job, if it wasn't for that decision where I never gave up, where I wanted to change my family's freaking bloodline, I wanted to break my family's chains, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Not even close. I'm not sharing you this so I can boast about my story, but rather to show you that if someone like me with 2 immigrant parents was able to make this kind of life, what makes you think that you can? You just gotta be willing to risk a lot of things. You gotta be willing to invest in yourself. You gotta be willing to go against the odds, because nobody's gonna do it for you, man. I am aiming to build one of the biggest and strongest team for TikTok Shop affiliate. I'm here to dominate the freaking space. I want to be able to help people change their entire life. I've done it so far. I've helped people make 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 in profit buying their dream car. But moral of the story, man, is that if you don't believe in yourself, then who will? This is the kind of mentality that got me to where I'm at today. And if you're not willing to change it to this, and if you're not willing to think like this or move like this, then this life ain't for you. And that's the brutally honest truth. So the choice is yours, man. Do you want to make this change or not? If you have any questions, bro, just reach out to me on Instagram. I'll be here to help you out. If you're ready to get started with TikTok Shop affiliate, same goes as well. Reach out to me on Instagram and we'll work something out and we'll see if this is the right fit for you.